Alright, got another Scrimcast coming at you. This time it's going to be between Willowkeeper and Shrek is Love, which they are, apparently. I'm not sure why, but I guess Shrek is love. Two mid-tier teams, I think, is the word for it. Neither of them appearing in a Pro League of the CIC event in the last cycle, but I expect we'll see at least one, perhaps even both, with Insania moving out of Rexars and into Sync Esports as support was dropped. And with Rexars finishing third place, it looked pretty good, but obviously Team Excellent did disband. And Reason is looking vulnerable with their new lineup, as Probusk and Adjo are doing pretty well, but not the best, and therefore we could see some changes in Cycle 2 for the Pro League. I don't really expect Reason to get knocked out, but Sync, BMG, Reason, maybe Rexars moves down. No, they're not in relegation because they finished third. What am I even talking about? But Excellent's definitely out, and we could see Last of Us get knocked out as well, as they've looked decent at times, but we'll see. Anyway, both of these teams, perhaps, as I said, may be seen in Cycle 2 of the Pro League, and for now, they're going to be playing each other. So it's enough repetitive talking about the same thing, and Rhapsody and Drunken Master being the first two bans here from Cruisin, as he takes out the most popular support, and a very versatile hero in Drunken Master. Meanwhile, Cluckmuck going to take out Kronos and Magmus, so the popular Suicide, and very, very powerful Magmus. That does leave Puppet Master open, neither side choosing to pick him up quite yet, but we very, very often see Kronos and Puppet Master and Rhapsody banned out. Instead, Fusen will first pick Torture. That makes a ton of sense, as Tort and Rhapsody are generally considered the strongest support heroes in the scene right now by quite a bit. And he will follow that up with Bubbles, which can obviously be very versatile. So we'll see what they choose to do, but so far drafting looking pretty good for the Legion side, as they've got a couple of powerful heroes, and they haven't given up too much in terms of what they want to do. They could even run that Torture as a carry. I don't like that, because Aluna is, I think, perhaps the worst hero that we regularly see in competitive play. Her win rate is under 30% in something like 60-plus games. And when you get to that number of games, it's basically the point where, yeah, there's differences between teams, there's differences between players, bans and stuff, the environment changes, but when your win rate is at 30% in like 60 games, you're probably not a very good hero. And it's 5v5 game, blah, 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 but point is that Aluna does not win games, so we'll see if Tree can overcome that in this instance. Meanwhile, Hellborn side picking up Empath, Pestilence, and Pharaoh, so love the Empath pick. Not sure if I would have first picked her, but I definitely do believe that is a support right on the same tier as Rhapsody and Torture, in my personal opinion, but that might just be biased because support is amazing with those walls. Pestilence going to be the second pick, a hero we don't see too much anymore, as he was often first picked. Towards the end of the Hauntour Season 2 World Finals, obviously, Stay Green, loving that hero, thinking he's super, super powerful. And then he didn't get too many changes, but for some reason, just team's not picking him up anymore. And we'll see if Ogre can use the powerful nature of that hero and overcome his stigma, apparently, as a mediocre hero, and turn this into a victory. Pharaoh going to be the last pickup, almost certainly be a Suicide, especially because Pestilence likely to occupy that middle lane. But we could certainly see a Pestilence short with Pharaoh mid. Nonetheless, Hellborn's lane a little bit more predictable than Legions, but not the worst thing in the world, as they still also have the jungle option, and they could go for the hard carry, they could go Suicide, and they could go mid. They do have some versatility left. Regardless, bans have started here, Corrupted Disciple and Master of Arms being taken out by the Legion side, so targeting one on a mid-game oriented carry, and one on a support hero / potential farmer, which is probably not going to be a farmer, but it's possible. So recognizing that Hellborn's lineup has a few options, and that they want to eliminate that mid-game presence, I think, mostly because Pestilence and Pharaoh, both strong mid-game heroes, and if they get into a good position out of the laning phase, they could dominate the mid-game and turn that into an easy win. CD, though, another hero that doesn't perform particularly well according to my numbers, so we'll see how that affects the game, but perhaps not the greatest hero in the world, and perhaps not the worst thing for the Hellborn side that the Legion has banned out. They will finish off their bans with Gunblade here, which is a little interesting, because we almost never see that hero, but apparently Fusen feeling like it would fit the Hellborn lineup well, and or they play it often, so let's not allow them to pick that up. Hellborn side, meanwhile, banning out Swiftblade, Moon Queen, and Dr. Repulsor. So Swiftblade, on the other side of the spectrum, one of the better heroes, I think one of the more underrated heroes. We do see him fairly often now, but nonetheless, wins a lot of games. So Unavailable here, Moon Queen and Dr. Repulsor also taken out, so targeting their short laners, as it looks like Tree does need a short lane hero, unless they choose to run that Torture in a carry role. But Clockmuck going, yeah, you guys need a carry, and apparently we might have already picked ours up because Pestilence is in the team, but we'll see. And that's going to do it for the bans. His bans, for the most part, making sense. Fusen going a little bit off script, I think, with the CD and the Gunblade, and perhaps not the most effective bans, but hey, let him do what he wants, man. Dude's a good drafter. Fusen's one of my... Willowkeeper at this point, with SG disbanding, they might be my favorite team. I don't know. I enjoy some of the stuff they do. I think they've got a lot of potential, and some of Fusen's strats are pretty awesome. Like that jungle... Magnus, jungle geomancer type stuff. They do weird things. Anyway, it's always fun to watch. Ophelia gonna be the last pick here, following up a Rally. I don't like Rally either. Rally, again, a hero that doesn't win very much, and a hero that I just don't feel like does a ton. The Compel is obviously really valuable, but that seems like it's about it. Seismic Slam's a nice ability, and it's one of the few where Staff of Master is not only recommended, but perhaps even a core item. But I just don't. It doesn't do that much damage. It's so easy to stack physical armor, especially as compared to magic armor. And the range isn't enough to the point where you can regularly hit 2 or 3 heroes with it. You're usually only going on 1. So the AoE nature is not super effective, and in that situation, it's basically like a Deadwood Punch, but you don't get the stun, and it's not targeted, so you can miss. It's just... I don't feel like he's a viable hero. The battle experience nerfed his laning presence, the Roar, I think, Deafening Roar, Demoralizing Roar, is a decent slow, but it's not that great. So we'll see how Rally does this game. I expect him to be in that middle lane, probably with a Luna. I would probably put a Luna there. Bubbles in the Suicide, Torture in the short, so we're probably looking for a short lane hero here. And there are a few options available. Dark Lady's up, Sand Wraith is on the board, Gemini, Slither, potential. So we'll see what they choose to go for, but Fusen, not too much time left, 3 seconds. 1, and Bombardier will be the pick. Okay. Baltits are the carry player, so it's going to be a short lane bomb. I have to imagine this is going to be a tri lane. I guess you could dual lane the Bombardier. This is really interesting. I think the theory is put the bomb on Rally or on Bubbles and have them blow things up, which is, I mean, there's some synergy there. I actually like that. I'm not quite sure how they're going to lane this, so we'll see what they choose to do. Right now I'm thinking aggressive tri-lane. You solo short the bomb, you mid the Bubbles, and you put the Illumina Torture Rally up top, as that's a 3-stun lineup with some pretty solid kill potential, but we'll see what they choose to do. Meanwhile, Hellboy inside. Ophelia into Madman, so go on the jungle route, and we'll see what Mex can do here on that Oath. Obviously, very difficult hero to play, but if you can pull her off, she is extremely viable and valuable. In the meantime, though, some nerfs actually did come out as the versatility of the jungle creeps has hurt her a little bit. She's not as reliable in terms of what creeps she's going to get, and therefore you can't really predict the sort of impact she's going to have. She doesn't farm quite as well as she used to. We tend to see more GPMs in the 220 to 230 range as opposed to 300 plus that we saw before, but hey, we'll see what happens this game. And obviously the Madman will be the last pick there. Almost certainly going to be the Suicide. So Hellborn's lanes are pretty predictable, I think, at this point. It's going to be Pestilence and Empath in the top lane, Pharaoh in the mid, and Madman in the Suicide. And that's, I think, sort of the reason I don't like this Madman pick, is they probably should have gone for a harder carry. And obviously Clockmuck Band had a bunch of carries, and that sort of gave away their strat, I think. It made it more clear that it was going to be a solo short Pestilence, and we see all 5 heroes from the leading side running up top lane. I really, really hope they run this tri-lane, because they're not going to be able to do anything on this Pestilence if they run the aggressive tri-lane. Bubbles will be just fine middle against Pharaoh, and on the bottom lane, Bombardier should be also just fine against Madman. So if they shut this Pestilence down, then the Hellborn side is going to have a pretty serious problem, because Pestilence needs that early portal key, especially when he's run as the solo, or as the short laner. He's just not the hero that's going to carry particularly well, so obviously you need to have a really good start, and you need to start having an impact as quickly as possible. We're just like going to spot out the train. So if the aggressive tri-lane here comes out and we see Pestilence get totally shut down, I'm just not sure what sort of impact he could possibly have, because his farm is going to be destroyed. And, I mean, the Legion side doesn't exactly have the most late game either. Perhaps even the Hellborn has more, but I feel like the laning presence from Tree is going to be really, really powerful against this lineup, and they are going to run the aggressive tri-lane here, so I did call that correctly. Meanwhile, Hellborn's lanes are pretty obvious considering they're... Oh, actually, they're going to run mid Madman. I don't like this. Madman could die to bubbles here. Pharaoh probably wouldn't because he's substantially tankier, but Madman could have some issues here in this middle lane, so I'm not a really big fan of this. And in the bottom, I doubt Madman would go down to Bombardier. I don't think Pharaoh will either. The only advantage you could possibly have here is maybe Pharaoh could catch out the Bombardier and get a kill, but I doubt it. So I expect this bottom and mid lane to be... I expect all three lanes to be won by Tree. I mean, top lane's definitely going to be won because they're running a tri-lane here. Middle lane is a little more iffy, especially if Bubbles misplays, but it's going to be difficult for Madman to kill his Bubbles, nigh impossible. And definitely Bubbles can kill Madman, especially with his burst damage. If he applies the appropriate amount of harass, gets in a relatively early bottle, and is able to keep up his mana. Bottom lane looking to be a little more iffy here, as, I mean, it's hard to predict what Bomb is going to do, because we pretty much never, ever see this hero. But, hey, it's an interesting ult. Let's run a little goblin cart. So, top lane, Ophelia here looking for a gank, as the Catman's coming in. Pestilence wants something, actually middle lane, and Bubbles dies. Okay, Shell Surf got spammed there. That was not the correct decision, as Okami is obviously going to pay for this, we already know. But Madman is slowing down the barrel roll, and I'm going to see way too late. Stalk kills him. That's surprising. That shouldn't happen. So, Willowkeeper not off to the best start there with the Bloodlust in the middle lane, but we'll see how Bubbles can recover. Obviously, Ophelia's gank up here unsuccessful, unable to bait anything out, and Pestilence not able to land the stun. Middle lane now, Madman's in some trouble. Bubbles to the Shell Surf up in 5 seconds. We'll see if this actually turns into anything. The Marauder attack will stop that. And Madman should... Oh, power throw not quite connecting. Ooh, nice snipe. That was a beautiful snipe. So, well played to Bubbles there. Getting that kill back. Ends up being a 1-for-1 in total in that middle lane. Meanwhile, here off to the side, Empath can be in some trouble. Capel over the wall, not doing very much at all. And that's going to be an easy snipe from Fusen finishing off that kill. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, yet another kill, as there goes the bomb on top of the call down thing.
Smackdown.
I don't know what it's called. Bombardment. So, all of a sudden, Willowkeeper up to a 3-to-1 hero kill advantage, and nabbing kills in all three lanes, obviously very important. Top lane Pestilence just not able to do anything. It's not really surprising at all. He's at 116 GPM, and he's currently sitting on 3-0 CS compared to Rally at 17-4. Bombardier in the meantime 19-10, and Pharaoh is 6-1. In the middle lane we've got Madman at 11-1 compared to Bubbles at 13-2. So, like I said earlier, Willowkeeper's winning all three lanes. And honestly, I think the Hellborn have a better late game team. Mostly because Legion didn't really pick for late game, not because they've got a lot of late game. Ace Rune on Madman here, he's going to try to get another kill. Barrel comes out, and Bubbles could be in some trouble. He does have a Shell Surf available. He's looking for something. Drops... Ace is going to be out there. Song of the Sea will get actually the turn kill, so... Bubbles does die to Madman there, but he has to sacrifice his life to pick up that kill. As Okami played that pretty much exactly how he should have. Pestilence going to get a little CS here, as the lane is pushed up in his favor. Bottom lane, meanwhile, once again, Bombardier chasing out this Pharaoh. Nice land of the bomb there. And he'll be taking some damage from that, but not the biggest deal in the world. Eats a tree, still has a health pot and a mana potion. Meanwhile, here off to the side, actually nice compelling of the wall to save Torture. And over here, Bubbles trying to grab the regen rune. And he will do so. Madman, obviously, not super happy about that. Arthur comes down, and we'll see if they turn this into anything. Darrow goes down as well. Bubbles trying to get away with the shell serve. Pops the regen rune. He should be okay. On the bottom lane, once again, Pharaoh dies. Sticky Bomb is there, and the ultimate.
Smackdown.
That's a lot of damage, man. So, 5-2 advantage for Willowkeeper, and they're up almost 3k gold, 1.5k experience. Holy crap. It's just a matter of they're getting a bunch of kills, but they're also winning these lanes, so things really not looking very good for Ogre right now. Ophelia obviously not doing too much, and it's just trying to gank, but not particularly successful. The Sword of Sight obviously helping out quite a lot. Elena sniping a creep there. I believe actually she killed the Vagabond leader. Blood Chalice on Bob, and the Mark of the Novice, sorry, Amulet of Exile on Bubbles. Probably going to be turning that into a Ring of Sorcery. Ophelia over here with a Skeleton King looking to set up a gank. Obviously they've got Pestilence Stun and Empath Wall on top of that. King's Net. And there we go. Torture is going to be the target of choice. The Campbell away though. Demoralizing Roar and the chain reactions as Pestilence no longer wants to engage onto the Skeleton King Net, also under Rally. But obviously just not anywhere close to the amount of lockdown and damage they need to get a kill. Middle lane, meanwhile, once again, Madman is diving Shell Surf, and they will pick up the kill. Too much aggression there for a Madman as he continually dives these towers, and Bubbles is just like, you know I can get away from you with the Shell Surf, right? And if you take all that damage, you're gonna die, right? And apparently Madman learning him a lesson. Top lane, Pestilence and Empath just can't do anything. Belfort actually hits both of them. We'll see if they can turn this into anything. Power Throw's there as well, and Rally will get the kill onto Empath. Pestilence trying to turn this around, but takes the chain reactions and the stun from Aluna. A little bit more damage, not going to be enough. His Flight active is just fine. So they get the kill onto Cluckmuck, but that's going to be it. Bombardier, meanwhile, pushing this bottom tower. Perhaps looking for a setup onto Pharaoh. Won't find it, though. 7-2 hero kill advantage here for the Legion side. As they're continuing to expand their resource advantage, nearly 5k gold and 2.5k experience. I'm not sure what the plan is here from the Hellborn side. Pestilence and Empath looking to pick up a kill onto this Bombardier, but he's got no escape mechanism, which is really nice. But they're going to need some help here. Pharaoh going to drop in with the Wrath of the Pharaoh and activate the Hellfire plus the Mighty Walls, so Bomb could be in some trouble. Actually, nope, they're going to turn this around onto Pharaoh. He'll be the first one to fall. Bombardier will also die there. Kill goes on 2 though as well. Pestilence taking some damage, double damage shooting off on Bubbles, and he should be able to finish off this Empath as well. There goes the bottle. And all of a sudden, Empath's like, oops, that was a bad decision. So Bubbles the DD coming in at pretty much exactly the right time, cleaning up 3 hero kills on top of the one that Bombardier got, or including the one that Bombardier got, excuse me. And he will port back to base. Meanwhile, here off to the side, Ophelia continuing to take over creeps, but Aluna spots out a couple of TPs with the Ward of Sight being placed down. Nice stun from there. We'll actually get the Minotaur as well. Pestilence looking for some reinitiation, but he's going to get Compel Stun and Chain Reactions. That's going to be a nice easy kill. Essence Link goes down into Torture, and Pharaoh's here as well, so we'll see what the Legion side can do, but the wall blocks them off. Bombardier's here as well. Mummy Wall's going down into 2, but they're going to be able to get the kill on Diffusion and Torture. And this is not looking like the greatest engagement for the Legion side. Hellfire active. Rally going to have to run away. Obviously, phase boots are available. Bombardier doing a bunch on the auto attacks here onto Pharaoh. Drops a sticky bomb. One more auto attack will kill him. Madman here looking for some more aggression, but I don't think that's going to end up particularly well for him as Bubbles comes in with a Shaughnessy and Shellster if that's going to be a finish. So, it's pretty much 4 for 2 as they lost both supports on the Legion side, and they took out everybody except the Ophelia. And once again, another engagement going massively in favor of the Legion side. As they're now 14-5 in hero kills, and only 10 minutes into the game have taken a substantial resource advantage, so this game is more or less completely in their hands. And it's going to take some throws, I think, by the Legion side to lose it. Meanwhile, Empath is looking for something in this middle lane. Shell Surf already being used, of course. Invisroom, Pop Light, Bubbles. Top lane, Pestilence going to be in some trouble. Compel actually does not connect, but they're still going to probably catch him as there's the slows and the stuns.
Serial killer.
And then got 2 teleports here. Seismic Slam actually doesn't go off. Wrath of the Pharaoh comes in here onto Bombardier, but now all of a sudden Pharaoh's like, yeah, that guy didn't port with me, and I don't like this anymore. Compel Stun goes down, Chain Reaction, and it's Balthazar's
Nemesis.
Ends up being a 2 for nothing there, so they drew 2 ports, and obviously one of them was cancelled, so this is a good decision. Meantime here, Empath and Madman going to be in some trouble as the rest of the Legion side, you can see, is collapsing. Drops the Kelpfield on 2, plus the Song of the Sea. Empath can get a drop. Madman also going to be in a lot of trouble. Sticky Bomb goes down. And
Massacre!
He's going to try to stalk away, but
Legendary!
that's not going to be enough as the bomb has plenty to finish him off. So, the aggression from Willowkeeper here is non-stop. Now they're going to die in that mid tower as well. Probably won't be any failure on this middle tower with the Hellborns, because it's pretty much at completely full health. But not bad to get some damage in. GPM charts obviously kind of in favor of the Legion side. Meanwhile, here off to the side, Torture is going 1v1 against Pestilence, and is going to win this. Some help there from Rally, obviously, but the newest blessing as well from Ophelia ends up being a nice kill there for Tort. And that's sort of the point where we're at. Pestilence now has 100 GPM, Torture has 151. So this support Torture is going, yeah, I can kill your opposing team short laner. Why wouldn't I be able to do that? So that Pestilence just got destroyed, man. That aggressive Tri-Lane obviously extremely viable, extremely potent. Ophelia not doing too much, no surprise there. 212 gold per minute, that's pretty typical of what we've seen of Ophelia recently. She still does alright in terms of winning percentage. She's just not particularly effective in the farm, especially in the early game, compared to how she used to be. Sticky Bomb does not connect, and a little bit late on blowing that is Bombardier. Does not hit. Madman in the meantime, Wrath of the Pharaoh comes in. He's level 12. We'll see if he can do anything during this round. He is drawing a port. Gonna drop the ultimate onto 2, but he's definitely gonna fall here. The question is, are they gonna get any turn kills? Power throw sniped. Oh! That was fantastic. Well done, Diffusion. Drops the red power throw onto both and cleans up both the kills. So ends up being Bombardier in exchange for Madman and Pharaoh. Probably about an even trade, which is kind of amazing, but Pharaoh's farm at 130 GPM and Madman's at 268 compared to Balthazar at 467 GPM. It's probably about the same. Off to the side here, we're going to see bottom lane push coming, as this should be a pretty easy tower kill.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
Off. Some of my notifications aren't popping up, which is odd, but whatever. Maybe I'll finish that later. I'm going to red power throw going to be active once again. Perhaps looking for the snipe on this. Stack the angels. Nope. They were going for the middle. I completely missed that. Pharaoh will get collapsed on by a bunch of heroes. Over here, Aluna will drop a ward, and Ophelia will run right by it, so they know exactly where she is. Middle lane going to be pressured once again. Now this tower is probably low enough to go down. Wall is here, but we won't be able to stop this push.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
Meanwhile, off to the side here, Madman getting caught out once again. Puts the arrow down, trying to do something. Stalk away, plus the blessing, but that will not be enough. It seemed like they had vision of him somehow. Was he dusted? Must have been. Top lane, meanwhile, Pestilence jumping in off the side. We'll try to teleport away. We'll see if he can do so, as the stuns are not there. And he is able to get out, so I guess that's nice for him. Meanwhile, though, 23-6 hero kills. Bombardier taking the Essence Link and the Wrath of the Pharaoh plus the Mummy Walls. We'll see if he can get out of this. I sort of doubt it. Drops the ultimate on a couple, actually, and he will get the kill on the Pharaoh. In the meantime,
Massacre!
they're trying to chase, and they're not going to kill him. Aluna's here for backup, and Bombardier is going to live. Okay, so that's 3 people collapsing on that Bombardier, and instead of killing him, they get turned on. I don't think that the Hellborn side is in a very good position to win this game. That might be a controversial opinion, but only if you're stupid. And there's a CC vote, so...
Defeat.
Yep, there it is.
Legion wins.
Just a stomp there from Willowkeeper, so they perform really, really well here, as Ogre, perhaps a bit of drafting error. I think the Madman as the last pick did not make a lot of sense. I don't know really why they did that, but whatever. I'm not really, really, really on board with the Ophelia. I don't think it was bad, but it wasn't the best, and apparently Bombardier viable hero. So, well played to Willowkeeper. This is only a 1-game Scrim series, so that will win them the series, and that's going to do it.